Eresys is described as a Lovecraftian co-op horror game where your main goal is to raise Cthulhu. Listen, friends, we played this game during our weekly 2-crew event where 3 best friends get together to play co-op games, and this game was a real struggle for us. Unfortunately, the struggle had nothing to do with the difficulty of the game, though more on that in a bit. Struggle starts immediately when the game has you decide who is going to carry this book. This book is where you keep 30 pages you need to find to raise Cthulhu from whatever dimension he's currently chilling in. And these pages are scattered across a vast map that is relatively empty outside of 3 different monster types. While searching for pages, you also need to collect 3 vials of blood to pour into a tribute shrine to create blood spheres. These blood spheres are used to create something that will banish Cthulhu and the void monsters walking around. Eresys developers, The Shore, tout a smart AI where, quote, those entities are not your typical kind of monsters. They will calculate all of your choices and actions. This will also have an immediate impact on their AI and create new ways to devour you, but my team and I found these monsters to be cumbersome and incredibly annoying to deal with. Yes, there is in-game, the monsters can hear you talking to your party through your microphone. Yes, there is an eyeball mechanic of when you can see when they're attacking you, when they have subsided their attack, and when they just don't see you. But there is one monster in particular that we ended up calling Broomhilda that would chase you down to kill you. Pulling out your lantern will push her away, and she'll run. But very quickly, she'll turn on her heel and chase you once more, breaking your lantern and killing you. This happened through multiple playthroughs, which is incredibly frustrating. The frustrating part is, as you're trying to run away from this monster, she runs much faster than you do, so you're already at a disadvantage. And I get that that's part of the horror element that, oh my gosh, this thing is chasing me through the forest. But she's also breaking your lantern. And you're also using up lantern oil, which you can only find in different houses. So if you're stuck in the middle of the woods, you're dead. That's it. There is a revive mechanic where your teammates have to carry your head to a wax body, place it on that body, and you'll be reincarnated into yourself with none of your stuff. So then you have to go back to your body, which this monster is camping, and try to retrieve all your stuff. And you will probably die again. Another frustration of our party was not only how large the world is, but how empty the world is. Outside of 3 monsters or so running around the map, there is nothing. No NPCs, no real side quests, no nothing. You're walking around, you're looking for pages, you're looking for blood vials, and that's it. Now, we played a total of 2 hours on May 2nd, which was our 2-crew night. We got to 21 pages, 3 blood spheres, and 2 accursed blood idols before dying and having to start over. When you start over, you start the whole thing over. Unfortunately, again, the pages don't randomly spawn throughout the map. So we had someone with us who knew where everything was. So he would say, okay, I think there's a page up here to the left. Okay, I think there's a page up here to the right. Okay, I think there's a page at this house. There's probably 2 at this house. So it's possible that because we had someone who already played this game and were kind of shepherding us along, that we didn't have a good time. But, you know, he allowed us to experience the jump scares on our own. The jump scares were fun, made me jump, made me say a bunch of words we don't say here on 3 Dads on a Console. But outside of that, the game was more frustrating than it was fun. It's labeled as a co-op game with horror elements, but honestly, it should just be called a walking simulator because that is what you do, period. You walk around. Look for cave entrances, look for pages, look for blood vials, look for statues to fill blood vials, get annoyed by the AI, and eventually go play something else. And you know, it's frustrating that this game is a huge disappointment for me because The Shore's first game, which is called The Shore, is a beautiful walking simulator where you play as a father looking for his daughter. Now, that could be because I have 2 daughters, so I felt very connected to the story. But The Shore, and I only played the demo, The Shore is this first person beautiful setting where you are walking along a shore and you're trying to figure out what happened to your daughter. And the Lovecraft setting is pulled from stories like the Dunwich Horror and Call of Cthulhu. And you are just like in this setting with these insane puzzles, some great wild mind-bending effects. And Eresys just doesn't have any of that. It has your, Lovecraftian Eldritch monsters, and it will get kind of trippy in terms of the horror aspect, depending on how close you get to some of these monsters and they like overtake your psyche. But the game's mechanics aren't that good. And when you compare the look of the shore to the look of Eresys, it's a major downgrade for Eresys. And I'm not someone who necessarily cares about the look of a game if the gameplay is good, right? I play Monster Hunter Rise on Switch. It's not the best looking game, but the gameplay is fantastic. And that, with most third-party Switch games, like that happens. I love indie games. There are some not great looking indie games where the gameplay is fantastic. You don't care what a game looks like as long as it plays well. But guess what? When a game doesn't play well and you're walking through a game and like the other night on Two Crew, someone comes into our chat and says, hey, this looks like an early 2000s computer game, you get taken out of the experience. It's frustrating. So not only is the gameplay boring, but the game isn't good to look at. And honestly, I wish I had more good things to say about Eresys because I really liked what the Shore did with their first game. It was incredibly enjoyable. I loved the whole setting. Again, I played the Shore demo. It feels like years ago, and I was like, yes, I'm in. Let's do this. But Eresys seems like such a step back for the Shore developers. And I found it to be a boring, bland walking simulator that I didn't enjoy and my party didn't enjoy. So here's my recommendation. Don't bother with Eresys. Pick up the Shore, which is a much tighter, beautifully crafted experience, and enjoy your H.P. Lovecraft that way. Don't bother with Eresys. I honestly wish I didn't bother with it. And unfortunately, here at Three Dads on a Console, we try to always look at the bright side of games, but when you play a game for 2 hours and you didn't enjoy yourself, it's okay to say that. So unfortunately, this one is a big miss. So if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know if you played either the Shore or Eresys and what your thoughts were. And until next time, have yourself a beautiful week. It's Pez signing off. Goodbye.